All right, I've got top of the hour here. I'm Tonya. This is a comeback yoga class, level 2, which means that you would probably have some experience with yoga, especially the yoga here on comeback yoga, but you might have experience elsewhere as well. As always, though, no matter what your level of experience is, what your body's feeling today, always remember to just do what you can and never want to push beyond pain. We always want to meet ourselves just maybe to the edge of discomfort because sometimes that can be a point of growth for us and but never pushing into any pain. So we always want to track sensation as we move through the practice. So just stay present with your body as we move through today. We'll be doing some movement both on the floor and standing, and we'll be doing a little bit of strength work for upper and lower body and then a guided meditation and stretching at the end. It's about a 45, 50-minute class. So go ahead and get comfortable and we'll get started. We're going to sit up tall. You could be sitting on a chair or on a cushion. And you can have your eyes closed or open. You can rest your hands on your lap, to your sides, anywhere that's comfortable for you. And let's just invite a little quiet here at the beginning, just to sense our breath. So, if your sinuses are clear and you can breathe in and out through the nose today, invite the breath in through the nose with the lips closed or slightly parted. This will help to warm the air as it comes into your body. It helps to filter it, and it also helps to slow it down. It also helps to bring a little bit more internal awareness into the breath sensing. So, where does your breath move as you breathe in? Do you feel your ribs expand? Do you feel your chest lift? Do you feel it in your abdomen? Where do you notice your breath? And is it easier, more natural, more relaxed on the inhale? Or is it easier, more relaxed, comfortable on the exhale? No right or wrong. Everyone's different, and even different times of day, different times of life. It can vary. It's always fluctuating, just very much like movement, like our emotions. The breath, too, fluctuates. Not just the fluctuating of the inhale and the exhale, but also what is easier, what's more natural. That will too change. There's nothing constant in the world, nothing constant in the universe. And do a little check in with your heart. How does your heart feel today? If you'd like to place a hand on the heart, just asking, "Hmm, what's going on with my heart today? How does my heart feel?" We'll take a couple moments here just to body sense, emotion sense, breath sense. And maybe one hand now comes on to the abdomen. Inviting in that inner awareness for just a couple more breaths. Good. All right. And then if your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them and release the hands. We'll come onto our backs, onto our mat. So lying down, you can have your knees bent or straight. And just take a couple moments to feel that surface beneath you. All right, and go ahead and walk those feet in. So they're just at a comfortable distance, maybe in line with the hips or a little wider. Arms resting to your sides, hands by the hips. Begin to take the arms alongside the ears and then lower them down next to the hips. And let's do that a couple more times. And if you feel kind of any discomfort or pain, maybe explore going a little bit wider with the arms, maybe more to a Y position. And the hands don't have to come all the way down or that they have to come all the way back behind you. So just kind of going to the range of motion that is available to you today. Just kind of getting some joints warmed up and going here. All right. And then bring your arms back down next to the hips and pause for just a moment. And now noticing the bottoms of your feet. Gonna press down into the bottoms of the feet, press down into the hands, and begin to lift the hips up for a bridge pose. And then release and lower down. We'll do that a couple more times. So press down into the floor as you notice the floor and start to engage and then release. A couple more times. Engaging to lift and then releasing to lower. Two more. And then as you're doing this, just kind of sensing the breath. What's going on with your breath here? Good. And then lower down and just pause for a moment. Kind of sensing if there's anything going on, noticing how the body's starting to come to life. And then bring your arms out to the sides. Walk the feet out a little bit wider than the hips. And windshield wiper the legs side to side. We'll add a little bit of movement now in the head, moving the head in the opposite direction. Can be a little movement or a big movement, whatever might feel best in your body. And then tracking the breath again. If you want to link your movements with your breath or just breathe, but noticing what's going on. How does your breath feel? And are you breathing? Of course, you're breathing because you're here, right? Okay. All right. And then let those knees fall together and bring your arms across your chest. Grab opposite shoulders and squeeze. Just a gentle squeeze. And then open your arms. Inhale and exhale. Cross the upper elbow on top. A gentle touch can be very soothing. All right. And bring your arms back down. We'll bring the knees over the hips so that we start to feel a little core engagement. You can bring your hands onto the knees here or bring them behind the knees. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, kind of push your legs away from you, but don't um, don't allow any pain on the back. So we're going to use our core strength and stability to hold those legs up. Let's do that again. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale, push and pull at the same time. One more inhale. Exhale, push, pull. So you start to feel a little bit of tone coming along the front of your body. Good. Now send your right leg straight, left arm comes next to the ear. And switch, placing the hand onto the thigh and switch, sliding the leg out. Come back in. Now, if this is too much, you can just tap the foot down or you could send the leg up to the ceiling. So, those are a couple of options. Just tracking sensation as you move in this cross lateral movement that can sometimes really mess with our minds, right? Which is just building more, pathways, neurotransmitter pathways in the brain. And we're also, by chance, also building some physical strength. All right, let's do one more on each side. Good. And then come back in. Both knees come into your chest now. Move forward and back or side to side. And placing feet down a little bit wider than the hips. And bring your arms into cactus arms or goalpost arms, bending the elbows out to the side. And press down into the back of the hands here. And so that means if the back of your hands don't touch the floor, you don't want to force it too much here. So maybe the arms come out a little bit wider or the elbows come in a little bit more. So you want to be able to press down into the backs of those arms. Now press down into your feet and lift your hips up for kind of for some, it might be an awkward bridge. Don't want to put any weight on the neck here. So push down into the feet and to the backs of those arms. And release everything down. Bring your arms to your sides and pause. Straighten your one of your legs and roll to that side. So you might be facing the screen. And you can either keep the bottom leg straight or bend it out in front for a little bit more stability. You're going to grab the top ankle for a little quad extension here. You can rest your head down on your bottom arm and press your hips forward slightly. You Um, if your leg's out here, that's fine. Could be here, or it could be here, depending on any, what's going on with your quad. If you're really tight in the quads, just wherever you're at today is where you're meant to be. So it might not look like me. So just track sensation inside. All right. And then we'll hug that knee in. And again, maybe your bottom leg is straight, a little bit more challenging, or it's out in front. And hug it in. And then bring the knees together. Arms can come out in front. We'll circle the top arm alongside the ear. So bring it up overhead and open into a twist. And let's just hold here for 3 breaths. Good. And then coming back, circling that arm back up overhead and pause. All right. And press yourself up to tabletop, hands and knees. So the hands come under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. And let's take some cat cow movements here. So we'll inhale as we look up, the belly drops towards the floor. Exhale, and the belly lifts towards the ceiling. A couple more rounds. Maybe there's a little bend in the elbows. Be sure to add the head movement if that's available to you today. It doesn't create any dizziness. And 2 more times. Tracking the breath sensation as you move. Spinal mobility is really important. Um, whether we've been injured or aging, all of us are aging, but this kind of just helps to create a little bit of mobility through the spine. Okay, and come back towards the heels or onto the heels for child's pose. We'll just hold here for 3 deep breaths. Arms can reach long and hips back to or towards the heels. If you have a lot of soft tissue in the front of your chest, take the knees out a little bit wider And then that'll provide a little bit more space for that soft tissue. If this bothers the ankles, don't have to go as low. It's good for the ankles, but it might feel a little strong at first. All right, and we'll come up, turning or taking that sequence on the other side. So I'm just going to turn to face the camera, um, and we'll come down onto the right side, or the other side, I should say. And maybe starting with the knees out in front or the legs straight, bottom leg straight. And just stay here for just a moment. Taking a couple breaths, getting your spine nice and long. All right, and then hugging the knee in, grab your ankle for that quad stretch. Moving the knee behind, moving the knee towards the wall that's behind you. All right, and then we'll release, bring the knee to the chest, and stack the knees. Taking the arms maybe out in front if that's okay on your head, and then circle the arm up overhead and roll to the back. Last breath here. And roll back onto your side and press up to tabletop. So coming to those hands and knees, I'll do again some cat-cow movements here. Begin at whenever you're ready at your own pace. All right, and then come to a neutral position. Take your hands one handprint in front of the shoulders and your knees just slightly behind the hips. Shift your weight forward. On your exhale, bend your elbows back, coming down into a little push up here. Push back up, and let's do two more. Exhale to come down. If you feel better to lift the knees, go ahead and lift the knees, and we'll do two more. Exhale to come down, and inhale to come up. Good. And then let's come all the way down this time. Coming onto your stomach. Bring the fingertips next to the temples. Elbows go wide. On your next inhale, lift the shoulders, the elbows, and the head. Exhale and lower down. Two more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Rest your head on the back of the hands and pause for just a few breaths. All right. Bringing those hands close to the shoulders, elbows back, tuck your toes under, and either the knees stay down for plank or lift the knees. And coming up into that plank position. Good. Take two more breaths here. And with your next exhale, lift your hips up into downward dog. Getting long through the arms, long through the legs, long through your fingers. Good. And then bending the knees. Take your right knee down to the floor and turn for side plank. Maybe lifting your left leg. If your left leg is lifted and you want to circle it, you can circle it, just a little variation, and then circle the other way. Good. And then lower down, coming back into plank, lowering your left knee down. Turn to the long edge of your mat. And if you lifted that top leg, lift and then circle one way and circle the other way. Good. Lower down, back to plank. Remember, knees can be down here or you can keep the knees lifted. Sometimes tender knees don't like the floor. And lift up, downward facing dog. Let's take two more breaths here. And look forward. Make your way to the top of your mat, coming to a forward fold. Bending the knees, lower the hips slightly, maybe grabbing opposite elbows. All right, and release those elbows, bend your knees. We'll come all the way up to standing. Reach up, maybe look up if that's okay on the head and neck. Exhale, hands coming to the heart. Let's take a couple breaths here just to kind of get our bearings in the standing pose now that we're further away from the earth, as sometimes it can make us feel a little dizzy. So take a couple more breaths here, feeling the surface beneath you. Maybe even pick out something on the wall, a color, a texture, anything that you might notice just to kind of help you feel rooted. All right. And then looking down at the feet, we'll bring the feet a little closer together, maybe hip distance, or maybe your big toes or heels touch. Really depends on what's stable for you. If this position is not stable, then adjust your feet so that it is. All right. I'm going to come into chair pose, bringing your arms up overhead. Exhale, sink those hips down into chair. Press down. Inhale, rise up to stand. And exhale, hands to heart. I'll turn a little bit sideways. Inhale, bring the arms up and come back into chair. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do one more time. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, sink into chair. We're going to add a twist now. Exhale, hands come to heart. Inhale, grow tall in your spine, long in your spine, and exhale, twist to one knee. Maybe the elbow lands on the knee, maybe the tricep lands on the knee, or maybe your armpit lands on the knee. Try to keep those knees in line and look down at your toes. Press your palms together and maybe turn to look at your hand. Press down, inhale, rise all the way back up to standing, and exhale, hands to heart. Second side. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bend in those legs, feeling the big muscle groups working here. Exhale, hands to heart. Get nice and long. Inhale, exhale, and lengthen as you fold forward and twist. Again, maybe that elbow lands on the knee, maybe the forearm, or maybe your armpit. We want to press down into those feet, turn as we press those hands together. You can either look at the hands, look down at the floor. Let's take two more breaths here. Good. And then inhale, come up through center, exhale, and come to stand. Release the arms down and catch your breath. Shoulders dropping towards the floor, feet comfortable and steady. If you need to walk those feet out now a little bit wider for chair or first mountain pose, excuse me. Hmm. Good. All right. We're going to turn to face the short edge of our mat if you had turned. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, bend your knees and come into a forward fold. Step your left leg back into a lunge. It's kind of a big step there, so see if you can get a little bit longer there. All right, lower your back foot down and walk your hands to the inside of your front foot. You can reach the arms towards the corner of your mat, press down to the back edge of your foot. And let's come back into our lunge, lifting that back heel, looking forward, and push off your back foot, coming into a fold again. Bend your knees. We'll rise all the way to standing. Reach up with those arms. Exhale, hands coming to the heart. Second side, inhale, arms lift, and exhale, forward fold long through the spine, slowing that breath down, riding it all the way to the end. Stepping your right leg back for that lunge, looking forward, sensing the front, the hip, the feet. And then lower your back foot down so your foot runs parallel to the short edge of your mat. Walk to the inside of that left foot, fingers, arms wide like you're in a downward dog, and push down into the feet. You can look underneath your leg here to give you a little bit more or a different perspective. Plus, it also helps to widen the legs, pushing down into those feet. And coming back to your lunge, looking forward, long through the spine, and exhale, step forward into that fold. And let's take 2 breaths in our fold here. Bending the knees, come all the way up to mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, let's do our chair sequence again. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, and come down into your chair. Hands coming to the heart. Inhale. Exhale, twist towards your left knee or whatever knee's facing the camera. We're going to press those palms together. Okay, so tricky transition here. Hopefully, you're still with me. You're going to look down at your feet. Step your right leg back, so the opposite leg. Good. So we're coming to that twist. I know it's a little tricky. All right. And now let's step forward. Look down, step that back foot forward. Ooh, nice. Inhale, come to center, and exhale, hands to heart. All right, let's do it. On the second side, no surprises, promise. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale to chair. Good. Inhale, hands to heart, long spine. Exhale and twist. Get really long, 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 long in that torso. So from your tailbone to the top of your head, you're going long. Okay, you're ready. Use your exhale. Look down. That helps. Step your left leg back. Yeah, a little better that time, right? All right, press those palms together for 2 more breaths. And on your next exhale, look forward to the toes. That'll help. And then step in. Ooh, nice work. All right, inhale, come through center. Exhale to stand all the way up. And release those arms. All right, we got one more in us, just like that. Well, we got a little intermission. We'll do a vinyasa flow first, which means that we'll be stepping back, downward dog to plank, and then coming back up. Okay, here we go. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, long breath, folding forward. Planting your hands down, step or hopping back into a plank pose. So pushing down into the floor. Shift that weight forward. The knees come down or not. Exhale, lower down. Belly can come down for a cobra. You can stay low with the hips low, or straighten the arms, push into those arms, and lift up, engaging the back line of the body to lift the thighs and the hips. Use your exhale to come back into a plank pose. Maybe the knees are down, and lifting up, downward facing dog. Look forward and bend and either hop or walk to the top. Lift and lengthen and fold forward. Bending knees, come all the way up to stand, reach up, look up, and exhale, hands to heart. All right. Last round here. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale to chair. Inhale. Exhale to twist to that left knee. Look down. Get your core ready here. Push down into your left foot. Step your right leg back. Ooh, good. All right. Now we'll release the hands. Oh, no, sorry. My bad. Keep the palms together. Step forward again into that chair. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, hands to heart. Last and final round. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, sink down into chair. So front and back body are equally long. Exhale, hand to heart and twist to your right. Good. Look down at your toes. Lift your left heel, press into the right foot, and soft landing. It's probably softer landing this time. All right, nice and long. One more breath here. All right, look down at your front foot. Exhale and step forward. Okay, good. Inhale, coming to chair, and exhale, hands to heart. Nice. Release your arms down to your sides. All right, inhale, reach up, look up, if that's okay on the head. Exhale, long to the spine and fold forward. Step your left leg back with the heel coming down. Walk to the inside, that left corner of your mat, upper left corner, and reach long. Take 2 more breaths here, pushing down into the outside edge of that left foot. All right, now we're going to walk our hands around, parallel your feet, and coming into a forward fold here. So your hands can come to your ankles, the calves, the knees, wherever, or to the floor. Or if you wanted to use a block here, you can use a block or a step stool or anything really. Let's take a couple more breaths. All right, keeping your right foot where it is. Turn your left toes out, and let's come to the inside corner now of the upper corner of the mat. And really reach through those arms, pressing into the feet. And then turning your left foot parallel again and coming into that forward fold, the wide leg forward fold. And bend the knees. Turn to the right side of your mat, lifting the left heel now for a lunge. We'll lower the left knee and shin to the floor. Pat it here if you need. You could fold up the long edge of the mat, even if you wanted a little extra cushion. And we'll come up onto the front thigh for a little extension for the quadricep here. Left arm goes up, big, nice, long stretch here. And exhale, lower your hand down. Step back into a plank pose. We have our side plank here. So the left knee will come down, turn to the side, or you can send the left leg straight if you're up for it. Pushing down into the feet. If you're up for lifting that top leg and circling it, woo, and circle the other way. Mine was more like a box. I don't know about yours. Okay, come back to plank. Take your other knee down or not. Maybe you're just shifting your weight back and to the side. Stacking the arms. Top leg can lift or not. And circle. And then circle the other way. All right, good. And then coming back into plank and press back to downward dog, adjusting your stance in any way that you need. All right, bending the knees and step your left foot between your hands. Get really long like you were on the other side. So maybe the knee comes over the ankle. It's not required, but maybe that's as long as we can get. And lower the right knee down to the floor, point the foot, and come up onto your thigh. Push down onto that thigh and reach the right arm up. A little quad stretch. Take one more breath in here and lower down. Nice. And we'll step forward this time, bringing the feet together. And let's drop the hips down onto the floor, coming into boat pose. Grabbing the backs of the legs if you want for starters, or fingertips to the floor. We'll start to lean back, hollow out the abdomen. Feel the core working, not the hip flexors. So if your hip flexors get all crampy here and they start to scream a little bit, then we're not working on the abdominals enough. So let's maybe lift the shins, maybe not, maybe the legs go straight, and maybe the chest lifts. Take 2 more breaths here. Maybe those arms come to the sides. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. And grab the backs of your legs, toes down. Big inhale to lift and lengthen. And then as you exhale, roll down. Come all the way down onto your back, bringing your left knee into your chest. Your right leg might go straight or it might stay bent. Take 2 more breaths here. Keeping your bottom leg straight or straightening it. Roll to your right side, grabbing the left ankle for that quad stretch here. See if it feels different than earlier. Maybe you feel more stable. So if your bottom leg is still straight, really engage the muscles of that leg as you press the hips to the opposite wall without overdoing that sensation. All right, and then bring your knee out in front of you, and left arm comes open into a twist. You can place your right hand under your head as you twist. So you're all the way still onto that right side. It might mean that the left knee lifts a little bit or that the left shoulder does not come down to the floor. We'll just take a couple more breaths here, getting a pectoralis stretch here, maybe even a little sensation along the back muscles or the hip. All right. And then bringing that arm out in front of you and rolling to your back. That same knee is going to come in again and we'll open the knee to the side. You can stay here as the knee moves out, or maybe your leg goes straight. Now, if you had a towel, you could use it. Maybe just grab the back of the leg here as the leg goes out to the side. Also, another option is to slide the bottom foot in. Sometimes that takes out the equation, the tight psoas and the hip flexor muscles. So let's just take a couple more breaths here. We did a lot for the hamstrings strengthening with all those chair poses we did today. So we'll hold this an extra little bit here. All right, good. And then lower that down. Just place the knees together, feet about hip distance, and we'll go to the second side. So our right knee comes in. You can keep your left knee bent or send it down to the floor. Taking 2 or 3 more breaths here. And this knee to chest is really good for digestion. So if you've eaten, this will help that. If you haven't eaten, this will help that. Okay, we're going to roll onto our side and grab that top ankle for the quad stretch. The bottom leg can stay straight or make it straight for more stability. So lining yourself up long with the long edge of your mat if you're using a mat, pressing down into that bottom foot, noticing the breath. All right, and bring that foot down behind you, roll to your back. Oh, I forgot the twist. My apologies. Come back onto your side. Knee comes out in front. My bad. Top arm, we're going to circle it overhead next to the ear and open up into a twist. Taking the arms maybe straight out to the side and noticing if the top knee wants to lift, allow it to lift so that maybe that twist comes in a little bit more into the chest and doesn't put any strain on the low back. And now rolling onto your back. That knee goes out wide to the side. Maybe you straighten or bend the other knee. And then if you like to straighten your leg towards the opposite wall and maybe grab your ankle or foot. Maybe your bottom leg goes straight for 3 more breaths. 3 or 4. All right, bending the knee to bring it back to center and hug both of your knees into your chest. Maybe there's a little forward movement or side to side. And then send your legs to the ceiling, circle the wrists and the ankles. And placing the feet down to the floor, setting up for a brief meditation here. So if you'd like to lie down, maybe place a pillow under your head, maybe grab a blanket, or if you prefer to sit up or lie on your side. There's no right or wrong. Just get in a position that's comfortable for you. Sometimes the hard floor is not my favorite position. So sometimes I need a little softer, more forgiving surface, a little bit better on my nervous system. But what is better for you? Lying on the side can be very calming. Legs at the wall is an option. So wherever you've landed, giving yourself a few moments here to settle in, to track the breath, and to find stillness. Maybe your mind is quieter, your body more at ease. And just stay present with sensation. Stay present with the flow of your breath. And from today's practice, notice seeing if there's any sensation that's coming as the aftermath, maybe labeling it. And where do you sense it the most? Is it all over? Do you sense it more in your hands, in your heart, in your legs, in your feet? Where do you sense it the most? And is it an overall feeling of well being? Is it an overall sense of peace? And if something else is arising, just acknowledge it, greet it with openness, thank it for showing itself. And then, if it's something that needs to be put away for addressing later, or maybe you can just open the door and send it on its way. What does it need? And is there something that you can hold on to that will support your health, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health? Is there something that you'd like to keep? Is there something that can grow to support you and freedom and resiliency? Is there something that you can nurture, cultivate more and more, whether it's through the yoga practice on the mat? This is something that you can take with you the next time you get in your car, the next time that you have a conversation, a difficult conversation. What might you be able to carry with you? I'll give you a few more moments for you to ask that question and to notice what arises. And now just take a couple more moments to just let that settle in. And let it permeate and fill your being as you breathe into it. And now releasing as you welcome in your surroundings, welcoming in my voice, welcoming in the sounds inside of the room, the surface beneath you. What else might you notice? And then begin to welcome some movement. So, whether you're lying or sitting, welcome that movement in as you welcome in the rest of your day. And if you're not seated and you'd like to join me in a seated position, if you need a cushion or a towel or anything under the hips to elevate and to give your spine some length, and then kind of get settled in to the position so we can close our time together. Certainly, though, if you'd rather stay where you're at, don't worry. The the live stream will end, and you can remain in the space that you need to remain in. Otherwise, if you'd like to join me in welcoming the hands together at the heart and taking a moment to bow with love, respect, and great compassion for your journey, for where you have arrived today, and just leave behind what you do not need and take with you what you'd like. Be well until next time. It's been my pleasure to support you in your practice today. You can release the hands and lift the gaze. Again, my name is Tonya, and this comeback yoga class is for all of you, all veterans, families, the support team, active duty. We're here for you. And we'd love to have your support. We have on our YouTube channel, there's a link below that you can hit the subscribe button and you can also donate. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you all so much. Thank you, EJ, and be well until next time. Namaste.